Hey, what's up, everyone? Gaming Arts 1 here. Today I'm going to talk briefly about Need for Speed Unbound, the most recent installment of the Need for Speed series that came out around the fourth quarter of 2022, which is also the 25th installment from the entire series. And this is a game that I think critics liked because it was different, but at the same time, it was not a game that was quite as big or popular or as impressive as the Need for Speed games that we got in the 2000s, mainly Underground 1 and 2, or Need for Speed Most Wanted for that matter. And, there was things about this game that people liked, such as the gameplay, because the gameplay resembled that of Need for Speed Heat, which came out in 2019. But at the same time, there were some people who were baffled and, I guess, somewhat surprised by the change in art direction in terms of cutscenes and character designs and stuff like that, myself included. And I think the art direction for the game is something that would appeal to casuals and people who are not hardcore fans of the racing genre of gaming whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who go on record and tell you that Need for Speed Unbound is a better racing gameplay experience than what you would get with Gran Turismo 7, which is riddled with microtransactions and could have been much better if Sony wasn't really too greedy or anything like that. But I do feel like Electronic Arts knows how to, change things within the Need for Speed series to keep the games like fresh, for the most part, because you look at Need for Speed and the series, you've seen all kinds of changes in relation to gameplay and art direction and stuff like that. And I do feel that what they did with this game, with some of the multiplayer game modes that was included in it, I think it was something that was done to try and keep people interested in in the series. But at the same time, you could tell that the game wasn't really a massive commercial success, because I don't think it has broken 1 million in terms of sales just yet. And I do feel that the value of the game has dropped since it's been released, because I read somewhere that Need for Speed Unbound had dropped, 40% in terms of price after its launch. And this was reported back in December of 2022, and I believe the game launched in November or late November or something like that. And yeah, I feel for the most part, Need for Speed Unbound kind of fell below people's expectations. And even though it's not a horrible racing game or anything like that, my guess is that critics and hardcore fans of Need for Speed probably expected more. But at the same time, 2022, for the most part, felt like an underwhelming year in relation to video game releases in general. And even though the release for Need for Speed Unbound was not atrocious like, Overwatch 2, I do feel that the game itself could have been better. But for the most part, it was probably one of the best racing games that have come out of 2022, depending on who you ask. And even the Formula One game from last year was not quite as popular as the 2021 game or the Formula One 2019 game or anything like that. So I just feel like 2022 in general is just an underwhelming year for gaming in general. And I do feel that Electronic Arts is most likely going to come out with something much better than this title, and probably Need for Speed Heat later down the line. But I have no idea when EA plans on releasing the next installment within the Need for Speed series. Hopefully we hear something from them before the end of 2023.